Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. How's everybody doing today so far? So, if I didn't know any better, I think someone is starting to try to rig these questions. But anyway, nonetheless, I am a equal opportunity, talk point person. So, the questions come through. I do my best to answer them. Fortunately, I haven't had, too bad of subjects yet, but I've handled them best I can. All right. So, somebody sent me a message yesterday. I had actually another message I was going to do today, a question, but this person was kind of, they sent me an inbox yesterday, and the question, they kind of came across, and they were kind of listening to the past couple of morning lives I was doing. And so it came to their mind. They said to me, listen, what honestly does it take for him to marry you? What is it is he looking for that appears to be the holdup? Again, what honestly does it take for him to marry you? And what is it he's looking for that appears to be the hold up? All right. So we can shoot from there. Here's the thing. I'll start here because this can kind of go across the board. I mean, not across the board, but this can kind of go in two different directions, because you have a spiritual code and you have a secular code. Secular people may have heard it referred to as worldly. So spiritual code, secular code. Number one, I'll start by saying, and please, guys, don't take what I say today personal. It's just my opinion, my observation from things I've experienced or things I've seen or heard or different things like that. But most of the time, it's firsthand stuff. I just don't make it up. So I'll say this. I believe that wives, whether they're now people in relationships or you're single, whatever the case is. I know in this case, the thing is how to make I kind of switched this person's question and I kind of made it to that, because that's pretty much what they're wanting to get at. Like, what's the secret? What's the deal if there is one? I mean, I don't think, the thing is this. Wives are found in their truth. You probably don't understand what I'm saying, so I'm gonna say it again. Wives are found living in their truth. And when I say that, I'll start with the spiritual. Because remember, I brought up I say this is two sides when it comes to women. There's the spiritual women, and then there's the secular, because they live by two different rule codes, supposedly, right? So here's the thing. The spiritual, this is how I see it. So, quick backstory. I was raised in the church from the time I came out the womb to the pew. I've been there, done that, seen it all. I've had the experience on the spiritual side. And so something that I've always noticed over time, I've seen the progression of how women wanting to be married carry on at church. And matter of fact, sometimes I would joke, we would make jokes, because sometimes I would see there was always these women, and they made it very clear that they wanted their husband, and they were praying, and this, that, and the other. And I used to call them the Waiting on the Lord crew. But anyway, nonetheless, this is how I see it. If you are going to stand on the front steps of the church and say, this is who I am, I'm branding myself as this person, you need to be found in your truth. And I say that because the reason women run into decoys or run into dudes that are less than authentic and this, that, and the other is because when they find the woman, 9 times out of 10, she's not living in her truth. They meet her at the church and she tells them all these things that she does at the church. I do this, I'm over here, I'm over top of this auxiliary, I'm doing this, I love Lord, we having revival. They even travel out of town all over the place, giving large sums of money and all these things. And the man is seeing all of this. But at the end of it all, he's having sex with her. She go to church all day. And then when she get off, she said, bring your plate by. She bring the plate by, have sex with him, do all these things. So in his mind, you're not living your truth. And it's not, this isn't an attack or nothing like that. It's just how I see it. And it's just like, I feel like if you're going to live your truth, and if you're going to be a woman in expectation from the church perspective, you got to live your truth. And live your truth by saying, look, this is what I subscribe to. I don't do this. I don't practice that. I do this and this with my husband. So on and so forth. And if that's what you're going to do, you got to still believe that. I know today a lot of women are like, oh boy, bye, ain't nobody, all this waiting on the Lord stuff. You better go out here and find him yourself and do this. And they want to do them anyways. Fine. Everybody subscribe to their own thing. But I am still of the persuasion to believe that what you believe in your heart, you can conceive and achieve if you stand on it. That's why I say women that stand on it get approached by men that are it. You stand on it, you'll get a stand-up guy. If you're not in your truth when he finds you, you're going to find a person approaching you not in their truth. You're attracting what you're giving off. If you're not in your truth, he's going to find you. You're going to, if you're in the land of hypocrisy, you're going to find the dude he's not authentic because he knows you're not authentic. You look cute, yeah, you all these things, but you're not authentic. So I'm not going to give you authenticity. I'm just going to come and give you who you're showing me. And this is the unfortunate truth that we're seeing, because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people respect and love going to church. I'm gonna jump off the church part and go to the secular in a second. A lot of people love church and going to church and all this stuff like this. But look at it like this. You got a man that maybe he's not churched. Maybe he's a good guy though. Maybe he'll be a good husband. But you meet him, you talk to him, you're going out with him, you date him. Then he listens to your conversation. You swearing F-bombs, you getting mad, you talking about your friends, you talking about, we finna go get us something to drink, we gonna meet my girlfriend for a drink, or then you have sex with her, all these things. He's saying, this woman is nice, she likes church, but she is not living in her truth. So he is not going to bring his authentic self because you aren't. He's gonna give you the half mass like you're giving him. And in the end, it doesn't help none, because if you're trying to get him, you're trying to at least get him to see you in a serious light, you got to present yourself that way. That's if you are prescribing to the spiritual side. And I make that distinction because a lot of us, we do it. And I know that it's a hard world, especially for women that have been divorced and have been used to sexual expectation and all these different things. It's hard to go from having these needs met to quote unquote waiting in expectation for God to have this man show up. And so as a result, in the period of the waiting to show up, a lot of women, they go out and in secret terms, they do them. They go out and they do them. And so it's a tight rope and it's hard. But again, I only say this because I'm trying to give you a picture of how a man from the outside is looking at you. If he riding down the street, if he looking for a wife and you looking for a husband, and he ride by Beulah Baptist on the corner and you standing on the church with your person, you happy, and he meets you there, his first glance is, oh, this is a good church woman. This is a good church woman, right? And so he's hoping you bring the truth game of the church woman. But when you don't, he like, oh, this like Keisha and them down the street. what's the difference? And so then then that whole marriage piece goes left, because now you're not in your truth. So he's seeing you like, oh, sure. All right, that's that. All right, secular side. Same deal. Whatever your truth is, be authentic to it. Like, don't approach the guy saying, like, I know people that may say they're out here dating, I'm doing me, and I'm dating 4 and 5 or 3 and all these things. Fine, but you got to look at it like this. And only you know your truth. If you are calling yourself dating, but you're in expectation for him, but let's just say you dating 3 guys. Okay, you dating 3 guys. And let's just let's touch the ugly subject. You're dating 3 guys, but you may be sleeping with 2 of them. That is not being in your truth. That's not. Because think about it. If you're being if you're acting duplicative in your spirit, you are not preparing yourself for him. And when I say spirit, I'm not even making it spiritual. I'm saying sleeping with 2 men, you're confusing your spirit internally. So you're not preparing yourself to be in your truth for him. You're just sitting there waiting for somebody to step up and say, I'm going to be with you. But internally, you are intertwined with Steve, David, and Eric, if it's 3. Just making an example. So you're not in true expectation. You're in denial. That's not what expectation is, whether you're in church or out of church. It's like more or less like going to Vegas and you gambling. You're just gambling. You're throwing yourself on the crap table and you gambling to see what dudes you come up with. And so I'm gonna pull over here in a second, and I'm gonna go. Y'all should get your pens out, because I'm going to tell you about 10, maybe 9 or 10 things really fast. Let me do this real quick. 9 or 10 things real fast. I'm gonna shoot down them real fast, but these are things that I don't think women realize, that subliminally us men, whether they tell you or not. Now, all men vary, right? All men have different ways and things that they're looking for, and this, that, and the other. So we're all different. But there are some things that are primary, that if you haven't been thinking about these things, and if you want to be a wife, you really should consider this. I'm gonna tell you. All right, you consider these things. All right, here's quote unquote the secrets. All right, let me tell you these things. All right, number 1, these are things that the things I'm saying are things that men are likely thinking about you, and that you may not be thinking he's thinking. All right. Okay. Real quick. Number 1, men want to know, what is their moral stance? This means, what is your belief system? If there's one or none at all. You know why he wants to know this? Because that is the thing that likely has the potential hold on you. So men like to know that sort of thing. Men like to know what sort of thing that is that can potentially come between you and them. So this is saying, if you tell him, oh, I'm Seventh-day Adventist, I'm this, I'm apostolic, oh, I'm a Muslim, or I am, whatever these people, they do this, like, you conscious or whatever. Men want to know that because they want to know, what is my competition? Not a man, but what is my competition with getting close to you? Because we think that these other things are distractions for us to get closer to you. Number 2, is she capable of being reached in a space of extreme anger? This means, are you someone that in the space of an argument that he halfway feel like she might try to fight him because she gets that angry? Anger matters. A woman's anger level matters to a man, because when you're having disagreements and different things like that, where you go with your anger will tell a lot, because that's telling a man the likelihood of your peace may go out the window with the level of the way she's getting upset. And if men are trying to maintain peace, if we're trying to maintain peace, somebody that goes to the moon with anger, we ain't trying to deal with that. This is gonna tell you straight. All right. Number 3, how do they see money? Are they reckless or responsible? This is how men think. I'm sure women think the same way, but this is how men think. How do you handle money? Are you reckless with it, spending all this and not having your rent, this and that and the other, all these things, or are you responsible? Number 4, you need to see how she handles success or the come up, if you will. Are you that one that after he's invested in you, you get brand new? Trust me, this is a popular one. A lot of people can meet you at different levels in their life. Maybe she used to be a big time VP, but she got laid off and she lost her job. Well, guess what? That'll play a totally different mindset in her psyche and talking to you now, because she's a lot humble. So she's giving you a different version of her. But if she comes back later and gets on her feet, so to speak, in dealing with you, will she still maintain, or will she then look at you like, yeah, I mean, you was nice to me, but you just weren't on my level? So this is a popular thing right here. Another one is, okay, here's a popular one. This is number 5. Her sexual expression. This is where he finds out about the woman's freak level. This is reality. I know I may think I'm being funny. This is serious. Men want to know the level of freak this woman is. I'm going to tell you why. Because, it's basically what all is she down for? And here's another popular one that people need to know today. Has she been conditioned? Basically, what all has she been conditioned for? Has she been conditioned in the open marriage relationship world? Has she been conditioned to, she just overly casual, so she's a little callous sexually? You need to know these things, because trust me, and it's nothing like marrying somebody. And you probably dealing with people. I've heard a friend of mine tell me a story that he was with this woman, and they hadn't had this particular conversation, and they were getting a little they were trying to get a little explorative in the bedroom. I guess they were becoming repetitious, so they feel like they want to try some things. And she threw out there to him, what about your friend blah blah blah? I don't want to say nobody's name. What about him? You think he want to come get involved? Dude looked to the roof like, huh? But he didn't realize what level she had. So you got to know the turn up level of that woman sexually. You better know that. You got to know, because you don't want to set yourself up and maybe something you can't meet the mark. So you need to know what it is you're dealing with sexually. Number 6, her family dynamic. Has she seen what marriage looks like, or has she seen what marriage looks like firsthand? Or was she raised in a single parent home? It matters. A lot of times, sometimes women struggle with the way relationships and marriage goes if they haven't seen it at the example of it firsthand. Like a woman that say, oh, my dad was so good to my mom. He used to do this and this and that for her. If she has a point of reference, that's a good thing. But if not, you kind of touch and go in some cases. Another thing, is she a controller? This is important. I know y'all saying, leave us alone. But is she a controller? Will she attempt to obstruct me moving in the space that I was created as a man organically? And this is what some women do. A guy will come to you perfectly capable, but you feel as though you know better than him. And you think this, that, and the other because, I'm me and I'm arrived. So you go to trying to divert what he's doing organically as a man to fit what you want as a woman. All right, number 9, connection. Does it exist? Does the connection exist beyond the looks? A lot of people we find today look presentable and pleasing as we want, but does the connection reside? The relationship is not gonna go anywhere, or let alone a marriage, if there's no real connection. I'm sure we all have dealt with people that look good and it's empty. You look good, look nice, but there's no connection, there's no spark. It's just, an assembly line available person. All right. And number 10, here's another thing. You need to know just how grimy she's willing to get. Is she a survivalist, like a get it by any means type, or was she raised around love? Sometimes when a woman hasn't been raised in these certain types of environments, You hear women say, oh, I left home, I was living with my aunt since I was 9 or 12, or I had to do this, and I raised my brothers, and I do this, and it's not a crime, but it's things you need to have a conversation about so you can better know how to entreat her and how to deal with her. And number 8, I skipped one, right? It really was supposed to be 9. Thanks for keeping me, Janita, keeping me on track. It was really 9. I had made a mistake. I thought it was 10, but it was 9. But to make a long story short, like I said earlier at the top of the show, wives are found living in their truth. The more authentic you are, the more authentic you will attract. Whether you're in the church, whether you're out the church, if you're authentic about what you subscribe to, you will likely get what you need. If you are authentic and then you stand to who you are. If you're a decent person, if you don't require all this extra stuff, you'll get that great person for you. Just stand on who you are, be authentic. So I had this note. Whatever label in life you subscribe to, you must be truthfully authentic to it. That's the same thing I was just saying, but yeah, you got to be authentic to your truth and stick right there. And I think there's this whole thing that men want to be non-committal and they don't want to get married and all this. That is not true. Now here's the ugly thing before I go. It's an ugly truth, but it's the truth. If you look on any of these social media websites, look on Instagram, all these little places that you look, you see sometimes you see these flash mob type of weddings where this person, people dancing in unison, and they got these nicely videoed engagements and stuff like this. You're like, and it's making all the women like, oh my God, marriage goals, I want this, that, and the other. Now, if you slide past those posts and keep on looking, you're going to see a whole slew of women naked, twerking, thongs, laying out on the beach, dancing, doing all these. Now it's so twisted. They have these groups. They have these particular groups. Maybe it may say fat booties, whatever. So all these women subscribe and they send these pictures up to this I guess whoever this person is that's posting on this thing, and this person just kicks out all these people every day, and these people are just different women, booty. And what am I saying when I say this? You got to understand that if women are looking for husbands, looking for all this kind of stuff, you got to know that, yes, a man in his organic truth, he gonna look, if he's a real man, if he see it, he'll tell you a story. If he see it and it look nice, he'll be like, dang, juicy. Anyway, no, he gonna look, right? He gonna see it and be like, dang. But this is also the problem. This is why there's less and less of commitment and more of sexual activity, because this is promoting a carnal environment. And all you do is you see just flesh, all of this. And it's just like all you seeing is just booty. And so what do you think a man or a woman, even if it was a woman, if you saw good looking naked dudes every day, it's gonna mess you up. So if a dude if you out here looking on these pages, even on your regular Facebook page, your friends on there, you look, here you go, all this, and you look at all this, and on the beach, and have naked, look at pictures of just my thighs and my breasts. Like, come on. So if you're seeing all this, a man in his organic stance is going to pounce. He's going to desire to pounce. That's just the truth. And this is why people are less and less. You're finding these scenarios where these men are less and less being inclined to marry the good woman, because there's some good women, great women out here, but men are moving around the way they are because you got all these carnal options. You got all these carnal options to do this, that, and the other, and it look good. So what? You don't love them. Okay, we know this. You know you don't love them, but it looks good for the activity at the moment. That's how you got to look at it. It looks good for the activity at the moment, and it passes the time. So nonetheless, if a person is just like feeding on the land, that's a big detraction from the woman that really, really wants to get married. And so it's unfortunate. So this is why I say this stuff it's not helping. The way we carrying on today is not helping. It's just making the world worse. It's making the world worse in terms of people that really, really want to have that life that they desire. And so I know I went a little winded today. I knew this topic wouldn't be a quick fix. But nonetheless, I believe, like you said, I believe if you believe that you can have what you desire, you can have it. You just have to stand on it, and you have to be found living in your truth 100. Whatever that truth is, live it. Whenever you live anything half-mass or hypocritically, you're going to attract people that are not 100. And you're going to continue getting the wanksters, the married, oh, you live with her, oh, you just had a 2-year-old. All these stories are going to continue to come if you present yourself anything less than authentic. Because at least you're giving the guy a chance to say, listen, this person may not be perfect, but she's honest, and yeah, I might want to have sex with her, but she told me she's in church and she's doing this. So if I think she's a decent woman, then I'm gonna respect that, and I'm just gonna ride with her. If not, if he ain't gonna ride with you after you tell him that, then guess what? Don't try to force him. Don't force a man. A lot of women try to force a man into the church. If either here's the thing, men get won by your lifestyle. That's how you win them, by your lifestyle. Church women I'm talking about. Your lifestyle you live, that's how you win the guy. If you compromise like Keisha and them down the street, that it's easy to him. I'm just saying Keisha, if there's any Keisha, sorry. But if there's a Keisha down the street or whatever, and she's easy to him, then he needs to see a difference. If you standing on the church porch steps with your Bible in your hand, he has to see a difference between you and then the girl down by the carryout that's fat as a mug. He needs to see a difference between the two. So that's how you fix that. Stand on your truth. And like I said, the women even the secular, even if church isn't your subscription of choice, it still doesn't have to change you as a woman. So that's why I said if you're dating all these people, but you know in your heart that you want a husband, and nobody knows what you're doing behind the sexual door but you. But all I'm saying is if you're doing this duplicative stuff and more than this and that and the other, you're not being true to yourself. You're being confused. So, everybody just kind of come clear and live free and live 100 to who you are, and you will draw the man that's designed for you. Not somebody else's man. Not side. Don't be the side. Be the foundation. Be the real deal. And get the person that's for you. Don't settle for the side. Just be the person that's for you. Everybody has a person designed for them. You just have to believe that you will draw them to your world. I ain't say go looking for them and getting your fish hooks out like some sites suggest out here. I ain't say that. I say position yourself to be found, and be found living in your truth, and you'll be all right. I hope that helped you all today. Throw your questions out there. I had a whole lot more, but I have to go to work. Sorry, but I will. Yes, Laverne, be the main course. Just be a tasty one. Don't be nasty. But anyway, all right. I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, if you guys have questions of any kind, always feel free, folks, shoot them to my inbox if you got questions, and it'll be anonymous, all that kind of thing, and we will keep it pushing. Have a great day. Talk to you all later. Tomorrow, 8:15.